The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericaempowerment.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I hope that your new year is off to an amazing start. I was sitting and reflecting today as I was getting prepared for our show, and I was just amazed at how quickly time flies by. It seems like just a week or so ago it was October, and now all of a sudden we're in the new year. And I wanted to just check in with everyone and see if you all are having a similar experience, if time is just moving very, very quickly, the hustle and bustle of the holiday seasons and that fourth quarter can just move at such an accelerated pace, it can be difficult to pause and reflect and really intentionally step forward into the new year. And I know the last show that we did actually on New Year's Eve, we spent a little bit of time stopping and reflecting and really seeing intentionally what we wanted to leave behind and what we're looking at stepping forward deliberately and purposely into or bringing with us. Because my goal and my vision and what I really desire for myself and for all of you is to really be able to build the life you want on purpose and with purpose. And I find that takes deliberate steps to do that, that we're actually choosing what we're stepping forward into. We're choosing what we say yes or no to and not just operating in an automatic fashion. So this is a moment today that we have to kind of check in on that and really see where we're at. We're going to be talking about New Year's resolutions and how to really move forward in them powerfully. And part of that is seeing if you made New Year's resolutions. And then what actions are you taking around that? And sometimes if we keep them kind of fuzzy and intentionally, and I kind of like more of this, but we don't define more, or I just want this a little bit different, or I want to behave this way, or I want less of this, but we're not really defining what that means and being very specific, it can be difficult to know what the next step is to clearly move forward in that direction. And so I just invite you to stop for a moment and kind of think about that and think, where are you in this whole New Year's resolution kind of thing? And guess what? You can set resolutions anytime during the year. You don't have to wait until the last week of December to do that, or January 1st. And in fact, I have two experts that are joining me today where we're going to really be digging into New Year's resolutions and how we can really help empower and equip you to purposely and deliberately move forward towards what you want in your life and releasing some of those things that are perhaps no longer serving you. So if you haven't taken an opportunity to set New Year's resolutions, or perhaps they're a little fuzzy, or you're looking up and you're going, oh my goodness, it's already January, here's an opportunity to pause with us to really reflect and see, where is it that you want to go? Where are you currently at? Is there a gap? And then my experts are going to help you really practically be able to take steps forward. So let me tell you just a little bit about my two guests. I have Nina Price. Nina, I welcome you to the show. Really glad to have you. And then we also have Dr. Simone Ravicz joining us as well. Dr. Simone, welcome.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. I'm really delighted to be back.
Glad to have you back. And what I would like listeners, all of us to do, is as we're talking about these New Year's resolutions, as we're really thinking about, and sometimes I was even thinking, sometimes we don't like that term, New Year's resolutions, or some people don't believe in setting resolutions. So another way you can think about this are goals and objectives and things that you are wanting more of in your life or you're wanting less of in your life. It's a moment for us to just think about that. So if you don't like the word resolution, you can just substitute one of those other words in, completely fine. What we're going to share with you today will work really well, regardless of whether you like to look at these shifts and changes like resolutions, or maybe it's just an ongoing process that you like to continue to grow and move forward in a direction, or you have goals or objectives or visions. So any of those terms, please use if that resonates with you at a more powerful level, because it's really important that your goals, your objectives, your resolutions resonate with you, that there is something in that is pulling you forward in a sense and is meaningful to you. So I just wanted to mention that languaging concept so that the messages and wisdom that we're sharing with you today really serve. So Nina and Simone, I would love to have you take a collective breath with me, and listeners, you too. Open up your lungs, roll the shoulders back. Those of you that are driving, please keep driving, be safe. Keep both hands on the wheel, eyes open and alert. But those of you who are able to kind of sit back in your chair, put both feet on the floor, really feel grounded. Take a deep breath again and close your eyes. And place one hand on your heart, one hand on the top of your head. And take a deep breath in. And just sit there in that silence for a moment, in that stillness. And when I say the word resolution, New Year's resolution, or goals, or your vision, or what is it you're wanting to shift or move forward in or release in your life? What is that? What is it that you're wanting more of or less of, or to be more powerful in a certain area, to release a habit perhaps that is not serving? What is it that you want? And then also notice that I have your hand on your heart and on your head, because I want to bring all of you into this place of connection and listening. So if in your mind you could think or see or sense what it is that you're wanting to shift forward in, I invite you to also remember to feel what it would feel like or what it feels like as you're stepping into that. Is there a quickening of your heart or your spirit? Is there a sense of excitement, of hope, of encouragement? Like, if I step forward in this area, it's going to make me feel more powerful or more grounded or excited or have more energy? Or what is it that's going to make you feel good about what you're looking at stepping forward in, releasing, leaving behind? What is in it, an emotional place for you that serves you? And then taking another deep breath. What is something that would support you in moving into that space, in stepping forward? What is it that you need from us today, from this week, from people in your life, from yourself, as you're looking at moving forward? Is it encouragement? Is it support? Accountability? Steps? Bite-sized steps that you can take. The path. Someone doing it with you. What is it that would support you in bringing what you're wanting forward? And just listen to the answer. And I invite you to really lean into this, because it's important to have clarity on where you're wanting to go, but also in what you need to get there. The experts I've brought on today come from different backgrounds, different areas of expertise, but are both really skilled in helping people move forward powerfully, using all of them in doing that. Dr. Simone is a brain expert and business life coach, so she can really help empower us in how our mind works and how can we have that work for us. Nina Price has vast experience in the wellness arena. She's a board-certified healthcare professional, great experience and skill in acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine. So we're getting two very different approaches to support you in a very holistic fashion to move forward as a whole person towards where you're wanting to go and grow and be. And with that, Nina, I didn't know if you had just a one sentence or one thought or something that came to your heart and mind that you wanted to share as we had listened in.
I guess the question that keeps coming up in my mind is, what is this year about for you? Mm-hmm. What's special about this year?
Beautiful. Thank you. And Dr. Simone, did you have something that came to your heart or mind to share?
That every year is so valuable to us. And yet we let so many moments of each year pass unnoticed. We spend so much time driven by our subconscious, and that I challenge people to really try to assert more mindfulness, being aware of the present and being in the here and now, and relishing that.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And listeners, on my heart was really remembering to pause. It's so easy for me, and I have shared this with you before, that it's so easy for me to fill my time and fill the space around me and fill my plate of obligations and commitments and things I want to do so full. I have to deliberately carve out time to pause and listen and really be careful, mindful. I love how you use that word, Dr. Simone, mindful about what I'm saying yes or no to. Sometimes moment by moment, breath by breath. And so it's just a reminder to me as we were sitting in that quiet space together is to remember to keep building that into my life, especially when I'm feeling pulled a lot of directions. So to me, it just was another reminder of how important that practice is to me personally. And I really invite you to build practices in your life like that to help you be mindful and deliberate and really conscious of what you're wanting to build in your life. And with that, I invite you to lean into these thoughts as we go into our commercial break. And we'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
Your people are waiting for you.
Do you speak to have more impact and grow your business? Your people are waiting for you, waiting to hear your unique message. Learn to speak more effectively on the Speakers Summit, a free summit designed for speakers like you. More info at thespeakersummit.com. Your people are waiting for you. Are you ready for them?
Your people are waiting for you. Be ready.
Are you struggling with changing or re-entering your career? Terry Hockett, CEO of What's for Work and transitional career strategist, works with her clients to craft their personal brand, gain clarity, and create career opportunities. Terry helps her clients discover and stand in their value and learn the tools and techniques needed to successfully navigate today's changing job market. Start today with your free membership. Step powerfully into the career of your dreams. Join Terry at whatsforwork.com. Have you read all the dating books and online sites, yet nothing seems to click? Have you tried everything and it still didn't work? Dr. Gary Salyer and Dr. Diane Frost are your co-hosts for the dynamic and transformative Safe to Love Again workshop, where you'll discover the secrets to using your unconscious mind to find your soulmate. Visit safetoloveagain.com. The workshop will be held on Saturday and Sunday, February 28th through March 1st, 2015, in Emeryville, California. It's time to move from stalemate with love to soulmate. Visit safetoloveagain.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Build your better business. Achieve that goal. Make good on that resolution. The Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you had a wonderful commercial break there, that you got a chance to sit in that quiet and reflective space just a little bit longer to really see what's important about this next year to you. What are you really wanting to step into? And what is it that you have on your heart and mind that you need to support you on that journey? And our first guest expert we're going to lean into and really explore and gain her wisdom is Nina Price. And Nina, I had shared, is a board-certified healthcare professional, acupuncturist, traditional Chinese medicine expert, a business and wellness coach. And she also specializes in really helping women transition through midlife without crisis. Right, Nina?
You bet. Very well said. Yes, midlife without crisis.
Exactly. So, Nina, I officially welcome you to the show.
Thank you. And the question that I asked earlier, what is this year about? You know, each year has a personality. You know, I think about the Chinese horoscope. You know, it's the year of the horse or the year of the ram and snake or dragon or whatever it is. I mean, we're going out of horse and we're going into ram. And but each year in your life is kind of special. And sometimes we don't always know at the beginning of the year what's going to be so special about this year. Like you might know that, oh, this is a year that such and so is going to happen. My kid is going to be graduating, or I'm going to be completing something, or I'm going to have a big birthday, or something's happening with one of my parents, or whatever it is. You might know that, but you might not know what's special about this year, and you might want to assign it something special. I know when I go into a big birthday year, I sometimes get a little cringy because I feel like, oh my goodness, how could I possibly be this age? Or how could I possibly have lived this long? Or people expect me to be a certain way and I'm not, and it just seems funny. But what I really thought about is what doesn't work, or what I've tried to do in the past. You know, I'd make the same resolution every year nothing would happen. And I thought, this is dumb. I need to do something that's really going to work. How will I improve if I don't create an environment and a plan and a process where it will work? So what I figured out was what was getting me stuck. I would pick really hard problems, and I never came up with a way to make them easier, or to disrupt old patterns, or to actually put in place baby steps where I could get to those goals. So that was one thing that got me stuck. And another thing, and I see this happening to lots of women, and this year it's happening to me, and so I'm feeling really a lot of compassion that I don't always feel. I call it the shoes. I feel like as I'm going into this new year, there are 4 shoes sitting above my head that are going to drop on me this year. And I bet that there are lots of people listening who've never thought about the shoes, but they know what the shoes are. You know, I know that such and this and this and this is probably going to happen this year, and I have no control over it. It's going to happen, and some of it might happen at a time that's not convenient for me, but I basically have no control over this. Like, a good example is elderly parents, and that's a situation I'm looking at. My dad's turning 90 next week, and I'm really excited about it. I'm going to go celebrate with him. But, you know, when people turn 90, they have a lot of needs that you can't always anticipate, and when you live 3,000 miles away, it's really hard to be there and be able to support in the right ways at the right time. And if there's an emergency, what do you do? So a shoe is something that you know is out there, could happen, may happen, will probably happen, and you have no control over when it's going to happen, but you know that you have to be there, and you probably have to drop everything and be there, whether it's a child having a baby, or a parent getting older, or a crisis situation somewhere in the family, or even a good thing like somebody getting married, but you know that a certain amount of your time is going to be caught up in that. And what I want to say about the shoes is, please don't let the shoes derail you from what's important for you. Yes, you have to be there for all those people, but what's important for you? What do you need to achieve this year? What do you need to change this year? What do you need to do this year? And who do you need to be this year? And that should be separate from the shoes.
Nina, thank you for sharing. And I think that's so true. We can sometimes let those things, because they could happen and they probably will happen, derail us, exactly, or stop, or we're always tense and on the ready and waiting and waiting and waiting, and so we don't shift or move forward in a direction. So I really appreciate you sharing that with us and reminding us to refocus on what it is that we're wanting to move forward in and bring forward. And I'd love to, I know you shared a little bit about why this is important and very meaningful to you right now, but I wanted to also give you an opportunity to share about New Year's resolutions in the shoes, but I'd also love to have you share with our listeners your big why supporting people through midlife where they can live without crisis and using the modalities that you use. Why is that work so important to you?
Because at heart, I'm a creative problem solver, and I love to solve problems. I love to solve all kinds of problems, health problems, tactical problems, interpersonal problems, process problems. I like to solve problems, and I feel like midlife women don't always have enough advocates. Midlife women don't always have enough people they can turn to who can look at their situation with fresh eyes and see it differently. And I think so many of us need that because we get so focused on our own way of looking at the world, and sometimes another person's way of looking at the world can be very valuable. With my clients, they'll come in and someone will come in and say, I've had headaches every day since I was 21 years old, and no one has been able to figure this out. and I look at the data, and very often I'll come back and say, have you considered this, this, and this? And they'll say, well, actually, no. So that's where we start. And I was the kid who always got in trouble because I got the right answer, but I didn't always solve the problem the right way. And I think that's what allows me as an adult to be a helpful partner to my clients, because I can look at a situation differently and see viable possibilities and options that sometimes they can't see. And that makes me happy.
Thank you. I think that's so interesting how there's a right way to solve the problem, yet you're still solving the problem. So I just appreciated your perspective on that and sharing that, and how really being able to look at things differently is so powerful. And we are getting ready to head to our next break. We just have a couple minutes, and I'd love to give you an opportunity to share with us about your amazing gift that you're making available for everyone today.
So the gift that I'm offering is a pamphlet that actually, I think I will offer something in addition. There's something written, but I would also offer any of the people listening just a free session with me for 15 to 20 minutes where we take a problem and look at it differently. And my free gift is my superhero book.
And do you mind sharing just a little bit about the superhero? What does that mean?
I think most midlife women are superheroes because we have to wear a lot of hats. And the clients who come and see me very often have been off solving big problems in their families, in their communities, somewhere in their worlds. And often it takes a lot out of them. They're not doing enough self-care. And so I'm all about self-care for superheroes. If I can teach midlife women to take care of themselves, I think I can give them the most valuable gift that they need. One of the things that nobody bothers to tell you about midlife is how important taking care of yourself is and learning that skill, because that skill isn't just for midlife, it's for the rest of your life. It's something that we don't get to do, or we don't learn to do early on in life, but we have to learn to do later on.
Wonderful. And that this book will help them do that and have some great tips.
Absolutely. But I'm also offering a free session with me if they want to talk to me about any problem, and we'll put my creative problem solving to the test.
Perfect. Well, Nina, thank you so much for your generous gift and making yourself and available your personal time like that to really serve and support my listeners. That's just very, very generous of you. And listeners, I really invite you to lean into that opportunity and to the beautiful book, the ebook that she has put together. But here's the deal. You have to actually stay with us through the end of the show for me to share how you can access those amazing resources. So with that, I invite you to take another deep breath as we step into our commercial break, and we'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
We're on Facebook along with some of the greatest minds of the world, and that includes you. Visit us on Facebook at Voice America Empowerment.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Tune in to the Voice America Variety channel on the Voice America Talk Radio Network. Voice America Variety broadcasts a diverse array of topics, reaching a global community. Our experts come from all walks of life, and the topics they discuss are everything from current events, arts and entertainment, leadership, parenting, relationships, self-improvement, career advice, and a variety of other topics. Check us out today. You're sure to find something of interest. Voice America Variety. Talk on today's hot topics.
Are you struggling with changing or re-entering your career? Terry Hockett, CEO of What's for Work and transitional career strategist, works with her clients to craft their personal brand, gain clarity, and create career opportunities. Terry helps her clients discover and stand in their value and learn the tools and techniques needed to successfully navigate today's changing job market. Start today with your free membership. Step powerfully into the career of your dreams. Join Terry at whatsforwork.com. Have you read all the dating books and online sites, yet nothing seems to click? Have you tried everything and it still didn't work? Dr. Gary Salyer and Dr. Diane Frost are your co-hosts for the dynamic and transformative Safe to Love Again workshop, where you'll discover the secrets to using your unconscious mind to find your soulmate. Visit safetoloveagain.com. The workshop will be held on Saturday and Sunday, February 28th through March 1st, 2015, in Emeryville, California. It's time to move from stalemate with love to soulmate. Visit safetoloveagain.com.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm excited to be talking with our next guest here, Dr. Simone Ravicz, and she is a brain coach, a business and life coach, international bestseller. She had a book come out recently, the Brain Boosters. Is that the correct title?
Yes, Brain Boosters, 7 Ways to Help Your Brain Help Yourself.
Perfect. She has a PhD and MBA and really is passionate about helping people understand how their brain works and is really an expert in empowering people with how their mind works and how to really have their brain work for them and be equipped and empowered in that. So, Dr. Simone, I welcome you to the show.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, and thank you for letting me into your community.
You're so welcome. I love having you as part of our community and on the show. Mm-hmm.
So I thought I would talk a little bit about resolutions, and I'm going to be going a bit against the grain here. But when my clients come in towards the end of the year wanting to make resolutions, I say, no, we're not going to make the typical resolutions. Because about 50% of people make the good old-fashioned resolutions, typically about losing weight, exercising, stopping smoking, and managing their money better. But the average person makes the same resolution 10 different times without success. So that reminds me, of course, of the quote, doing something over and over and expecting different results. Mm. So typically resolutions, the way we make them, do not work. And it's because typically they're unrealistic, they're vague, and the brain really wants specificity and guided direction before it triggers us to take action. And the typical resolutions are also frequently out of alignment with our view of ourselves. And if it is out of alignment with our view of ourselves, our subconscious will simply ignore it. So a better way to go about it that I
Actually,
have my clients
can I stop you a moment there? I think I appreciate you going against the grain here with us today and really sharing a different perspective. And so I just wanted to highlight a couple of things that you shared and wanted to dig into a piece there with you.
Absolutely.
So that's actually a frightening statistic to me that so many of us are making these resolutions and we're making the same ones 10 times in a row without getting results. And yet we keep doing that. And I know you were alluding to that's the definition of insanity. You keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. And so without judgment or criticism, I think that's something for us to just pause for a moment and reflect. Because if we're not stopping and seeing, wait a minute, is this really familiar?
Right.
We can be doing that without recognizing it. And
amongst the reasons that I listed that resolutions don't work, one of the biggest is that most people don't very simply take one action, which is writing them down. And people may have heard about this, but simply by taking that one action, by writing down your goals and your intentions and your commitment to your goals, you can increase the likelihood that you will carry them out 50%. And it's something about the act of writing, the mind-body interaction. Even if we type it into a computer, the results are not so high as if we physically pick up a pen and write it down on a piece of paper. The results doing that are higher than if we used a computer. So there's something very physical about it, about the whole process. It's an analytical process, and it happens in real time, and our brains process what we're doing, and it has a big, huge impact on our brain, more than just verbally saying it.
And so I appreciate you sharing that. And listeners, I really encourage you to apply that piece of information.
Oh, that's,
because simply
huge,
by
huge.
taking the
and
action.
Another thing to really increase the likelihood that we'll carry out are, and I do call them goals rather than resolutions. I use the SMART goals setup, and for people who don't know, I'm forgetting the word, but anyway, S stands for being specific in the goal. Goals should be simply written and clearly defined about what you want to do, and this helps the brain. The brain can focus on it, and you don't want to put it in negative terms like, I'm not going to eat fatty foods. The brain does not understand that, and will simply interpret it, I'm going to eat fatty foods. It doesn't understand the negative version. The M in SMART means the goal should be measurable, so you have tangible evidence that you've accomplished it. So if you were losing weight, wanted to lose weight, you'd say, I will weigh 120 pounds, very measurable, specific, by March 30th, 2015. And the A means the goal should be achievable. It should stretch you so you feel challenged, but it has to be defined well enough so you can achieve it. And sometimes it'll take you out of your comfort zone, so be ready for that. But by having it be achievable, it makes us feel good, and those positive feelings lead to positive motivation in our brain. So it triggers the motivation center of our brain. The R means result-focused.
And actually, can I stop you there as well? Because I just want to go back to what you're saying, that it has to be achievable. Does that tie into that alignment with ourselves? Because I thought that was really powerful.
It does. If they're unachievable or overwhelming, it makes us become demotivated. And the brain will simply shut down on that.
And is that because it's not something we can believe really is in alignment, or we believe we have to do something that we don't believe in it to get there?
It'll actually, the brain will perceive it as a threat.
Mm.
And what happens with threats is the stress response.
Okay.
So, you have the options of fight, flight, or freeze. You don't have the option of will achieve goal. That's not one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll likely freeze up or may even do the opposite of what you're desiring to do.
Okay. Okay.
But if you keep repeating your intention in a positive way over and over, your brain will give up the fight. Mm. And in order to lessen the tension, it'll actually make the goal happen.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And is that, and I know I interrupted the acronym that you were sharing with us.
Yeah, the acronym. Thank you for reminding me of the word.
Yeah.
The final one was T, and that means time bound. Goals need to be associated with a time frame, so that creates a practical sense of urgency or some slight tension between the current reality and the vision of the goal, which is motivating. So again, the goal I stated was I will weigh 120 pounds by March 30th, 2015. So that's how we want to state our goals. Now, some incredibly important information, besides writing it down, which can increase it 50%, there are two other factors that elevate the likelihood of our achieving our goals. One is that we're committed to it. Mm-hmm. So we state our commitment, we write down our commitment to our goals. And the third, which really jacks up the likelihood of attaining our goals, and that's accountability. So in a study of 3 groups, the first group that just wrote it down, they achieved about 50% of their goals. The second group had to write down their goals and the action commitment and share this commitment with a friend. So they achieved 64% of their goals. The third group did all of that, plus they had to send a weekly progress report to their friend or their coach. And they were the most successful by far, having achieved 76% of their goals.
Wow. And listeners, I just invite you to sit into that for a moment, because it was funny as you were sharing that, Dr. Simone. I was thinking, yeah, I write things down. I'm good about that. I love making lists.
Right.
And crossing things off. That's motivating to me. So that's just something I do naturally. And I love sharing my goals and my vision with people. So that's kind of a natural thing for me. Mm-hmm. But the accountability and reporting, you're absolutely right. Like I could feel a shift.
Oh, you did.
With me, like, oh, and it's absolutely true. When I have done that, when I've done reporting, there's actually a couple of things I find happens in that. So I'm curious if this is a normal thing or if this is a Rebecca thing. But I find sometimes I get extra excited to report certain things.
Right.
Like there's a positive excitement. I did this and I achieved that, and I'm sharing it with somebody and they get to see that and celebrate with me. So that part's kind of exciting. But if perhaps I fell short in a certain area, it doesn't feel as good. So there's a more of a feeling and energy to it when I report it in that fashion and share it with somebody.
Right. And that negative feeling is painful. Mm-hmm. And our strongest drive as humans is to avoid pain. And so you're much more likely to do what it is that you said you would do before you next report to the person, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I like the positive too. Like
the positive is there. If we achieve what we set out to achieve, it's very positive, and it's really important to focus on that and to look at it at different times through time, because that will actually start to let us develop new positive neuronal pathways in our brain. And we really want to develop those, because those feed forward and cause us to think overall in a more positive way and cause us to take positive action and experience more positive feelings.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Simone, for sharing with us. And I know that you put together an amazing gift, and we have just about a minute to break. And so I'd love if you could share what your amazing gift is.
Sure. It's called The Major Myths Small Business Owners and Entrepreneurs Believe That Keep Them Negatively Stressed, Stuck, and Distant from Achieving Their Goals. And there's a lot of information and content out there in the world these days. And a lot of it is, unfortunately, not always accurate. So I try to dispel 3 myths. I talk about the brain and some myths that still exist about the brain, such as that it's not very flexible. And we know that neuroplasticity exists, which means the brain can change. We just need to learn how to make changes in the brain, and then it will affect our entire lives. I talk about myths about stress. It is not only negative. There's a phenomenon that I coined the term pro-stress. It refers to positive stress. When we view something as a challenge rather than a threat, it sets us up for growth and for pursuing meaning in our lives. And the final one talks about self-esteem versus self-compassion and success. Most of us are taught that we need to have good to high self-esteem to succeed. Actually, it's not related. It's not predictive. High self-esteem is not predictive of success. What is predictive of success is self-compassion.
Wonderful. And so, listeners, I really invite you to learn the truth over the myths.
Right, the truth over the myths. And I'm also offering, as Nina did, free discovery sessions to your listeners who are interested.
Oh, thank you. That's so generous. I really appreciate that. And listeners, getting the opportunity to talk personally with an expert and get support is really invaluable. It's priceless. And so I really invite you to say yes to that opportunity. We are going to break here. So when we get back, I will let you know how to access these powerful gifts. Look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Live up to your fullest potential. This is the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Are you struggling with changing or re-entering your career? Terry Hockett, CEO of What's for Work and transitional career strategist, works with her clients to craft their personal brand, gain clarity, and create career opportunities. Terry helps her clients discover and stand in their value and learn the tools and techniques needed to successfully navigate today's changing job market. Start today with your free membership. Step powerfully into the career of your dreams. Join Terry at whatsforwork.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Success starts here. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com. It's your world.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you've been enjoying the opportunity to pause, think about your resolutions, think about what you're wanting to shift forward, whether it's goals or objectives or different ways that you're wanting to do things or even be in your life. And we've been talking to Nina and Simone and really digging into how we're wired, how it works, and really making sure we're pausing and asking important questions of where we want to go, what is important to us, what are we wanting to do. And both of my guests have put together amazing gifts that we shared with you. And on top of the amazing gifts they put together, they have actually both generously offered some private conversations, some private time with them. So here's how you access all of those amazing opportunities. If you are watching the Voice America show online or listening to it online on the Voice America page, if you look over to the right-hand side, you're going to see a link that's yellow-orange, and it's free radio show gifts or radio show gifts. You simply click on that. The window will open up. You put your name and your email address so we can stay in touch, and you will see the amazing gifts that Nina and Simone have made available to you. And you also have the opportunity to connect with them at a deeper level. So I encourage you to look at their contact information that we have on the website, on the banner there, to reach out to them if you're interested in having that private session with them. You will also find their contact information in the books and reports that they've put together and made available to you. For those of you who are listening to the replay or listening to this in your car or on the road, here's the second way you can access those gifts. They are available to you too, and that would simply be on my website, which is www.yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Again, that's yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. And on the right-hand top side, you will see a radio show tab. You simply click on that and look over on the left-hand side, and you'll see radio show gifts. And you'll have the same opportunity by clicking on that box to access all these wonderful tools they've made available, as well as tools and gifts from our past hosts. So I invite you to lean in. You could write that down so we increase action by 50%, right, Dr. Simone? And then tell a friend.
Right.
So we increase it by 65%. And then if you want to be accountable, you can send me a Facebook message or an email letting me know you clicked on that. But ultimately, I know I'm teasing, but ultimately, I really want you to take action in your life. I really want you to be empowered to step forward in those things that are meaningful to you, that you're really wanting to have in your life, so you're not making the same resolution year after year, 10 years in a row, and not getting the results that you want. And with that in mind, I asked Dr. Simone and Nina Price to put together a quick tip to share with you in our last segment here. So Nina, do you mind sharing your quick tip or idea or suggestion with us?
Yeah, well, stay focused on what is this year about, what's special about this year, and what really, really matters to you this year. If you have a big idea or a big project or something you've always wanted to do, is this the right year to do? And if it is the right year to do it, yeah, let's talk about it. I'd love to hear about it and give you some ideas. And as Rebecca said earlier, what support, accountability, hand-holding do you need?
And creative problem solving.
You bet. Always happy to contribute that.
Thank you, Nina. I appreciate that. Dr. Simone, did you have a quick tip or suggestion or idea?
I have a quick tip, and I titled it, Treat Your Brain as You'd Like to Be Treated. There's a chapter in my book, Brain Boosters, that's called Feeding and Walking Your Brain, obviously referring to nutrition and exercise for your brain. So I would really urge people to take good care of themselves and their brains by eating well and getting exercise and getting enough rest, which is really critical for your brain, and also decreasing stress in their lives. And I'll use another acronym, FEAR, false evidence appearing real. That really does underlie most of the stress in our lives. So stress really decimates our brain and can even kill brain cells. So we want to minimize that as much as possible. So just take good care of yourselves and your brain will take good care of you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I was just visualizing taking my brain for a walk. So just an interesting picture. But do you mind saying that acronym one more time about fear? I thought that was
fear,
great.
false evidence appearing real.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. For listeners who didn't catch that, I thought it was pretty powerful.
Yeah.
And
So true.
listeners, I so appreciate you starting the new year with us and really celebrate that. And I want to congratulate you and acknowledge you taking this time in your day to be nourished and to be encouraged and to be feeding your brain, really taking time to pause and reflect on these things, to be encouraged and to be empowered is a really, really powerful decision. And taking the action to actually carve out this time and listen so that you can be served and nourished and fed. And so I hope that we are giving you valuable tips and food and insight to support you on your journey so that you can keep moving forward. And so here's my tip, is to write down whatever came to your heart and mind when we started our conversation today about what you needed or wanted. Really write that down and take a look at it like Nina was sharing. Is it too big? Does it need to be broken into smaller steps? Is it believable? Is it in alignment with yourself? Really look at what you're wanting to bring forward and apply some of the valuable tips and information that have been shared with you today, because I want you to move forward. I want you to take those actions that are going to serve you powerfully, because when you serve yourself and nourish yourself and fill yourself to overflowing, it has a ripple effect to all of those around you. And it can really shift how each of us are living our life and really help us each make the world a better place. But we can't do it from a place of depletion. So really take wonderful, wonderful care of yourself. Really lean into what it is that you need and are looking for and are wanting to bring forward. And may you always, always bloom where you're planted and shine. We look forward to talking to you next week.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time and 2 p.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.